Scene 10, go!
Hi, my name is Kerry Caldwell and this is Zia Cooking. I am so excited and glad you could join me today. I've always wanted to share my delicious recipes with all my friends and family, and now I can, because Zia Cooking is the place where we're going to come together, we're going to learn more about cooking, and I am going to share with you all the amazing stories that I've learned from my family, from my ancestors, from our heritage. We'll be talking about recipes from northern New Mexico all the way to southern New Mexico. Zia Cooking is where it's at. We're gonna get together, we're gonna share recipes, we're gonna have fun, and we are gonna bring dinner to the table. Hi, welcome back to Zia Cooking. I'm glad you could join me in my kitchen today. We are gonna be creating a delicious dessert. We're gonna be making a pecan upside down cake. We are going to be featuring New Mexico pecans, and I cannot wait to share this recipe with you today, so follow along. And if you haven't subscribed, you want to make sure and click that button now. I want to show you how easy it is to make this pecan cake, and this is a really neat recipe. It's a fusion of almost like a pecan pie that we love with that gooey filling, and it's going to be combined with a great cake mix. And there's some hacks that I'm going to share with you today, and this is such a lovely recipe. Every time I make it, people fall in love with it and they cannot believe how easy it is. We're going to start with a box cake mix. That's right, a box cake mix. We don't have to take any time to do anything special because all of the instructions are on the back of the box. But I'm going to share with you a few hacks that a professional baker, who also happens to be my son named Chance, he worked at a gourmet cake shop, and he shared with me a couple of things that make this taste just like bakery quality. So we are going to, first of all, cover a little bit of ingredients. We are going to be using southern New Mexico pecans. Pecans are the most wonderful thing that you can find as a nut in my kitchen. And a lot of people don't know, but pecans are the #1 cash crop in New Mexico. We're also going to be using some brown sugar, and we're going to be using some real butter. We also are going to add in a little bit of our dark corn syrup, and that's going to give us that great pecan taste, and that's going to go on the bottom of our Bundt pan. Now for the cake portion, we're going to be using a yellow cake mix today, but you can feel free. I've made it before with chocolate cake or butter pecan cake. The choice is yours when you're making something special in your kitchen. Instead of adding water to our mix today, we're going to be replacing that with milk. We're going to be using butter instead of oil, 3 eggs, and the special ingredients, and I'll tell you what, it is so silly that some people don't even think, why would you put sour cream in a cake mix? But it gives you the best tang, and it really, really makes a nice dense cake that holds up to this great filling on top. Let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and add in our milk to our cake mix here. And this lovely recipe is so easy to make in your kitchen because you don't use a mixer at all. In fact, you want to hand mix this to make sure that not too much air gets incorporated. And I'm going to go ahead this time and add in our butter. I love butter, and butter pecan, together it just makes a really, really special cake. Now, pecans are very popular, and I live in southern New Mexico, as I've mentioned to you guys several times before, and those who know me. But pecans are found in a lot of different recipes, and they can be combined to make something savory, but I really like to use them in desserts. This is coming together really well. Now let's go ahead and show off my egg cracking skills. We're going to add in 3 eggs. Not one shell dropped in there. I'm doing really good today. Go ahead and mix that up. And you see how easy it is? It's nice to create something in your kitchen to share with your family. And when it starts baking, everybody's going to want to know what you're doing. So it's always nice to have these simple hacks that go along. Now, I was talking about sour cream and what it can do to add to your cake mix. It really helps put something as I mentioned, a tang, but it also helps the cake with a nice, dense, strong, sturdy cake that's going to hold up to that filling that we are going to be creating with our pecans. Now look at that. Sometimes when I take this to a family gathering or to a function, people are so surprised that I'm able to create this out of a simple box mix. And see how nice that came together? We don't want it to be any whipped up anymore. We want it to be nice and blended well. And now for the next part. This, excuse me, this part is really fun because we don't even have to cook it, because remember, we're gonna put this at the base of our pan in the oven, and it's gonna cook and solidify inside of the oven. So we have some brown sugar here, and I'm simply gonna add in that butter. Oh, excuse me, guys. I'm gonna need a mix utensil for mixing. We're gonna go ahead and mix that in. And that's all it is. We're gonna be using about a half a cup of brown sugar and mixing that in with our butter. And we're gonna add in these lovely pecans just to coat them. And this really makes a lovely topping. Once we flip it out, when you do the ultimate flip out of the Bundt pan, you'll see that this rustic recipe, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's gonna drip out over the top part of the cake, and people are gonna absolutely love it. That was really easy. I almost wanna take a big old bite of this right now. It looks so good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven according to our box directions, but my box said that we're gonna put this in the oven at 350 degrees. So what I am doing is I am going to use a well-buttered Bundt dish. Now I have created this cake in a 9 by 13 inch Pyrex pan, and when I flipped it out, it didn't have the same drama as you can find in a Bundt pan, so I'm gonna really encourage you to do that. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this nutty, delicious filling, and we're simply gonna add it to our Bundt pan. And all of that sugar and the corn syrup and the butter are going to create a delicious caramel-like topping that combines with those pecans. I'm going to spread that out, making sure that we get enough over all of the bottoms. Now, when you're preparing your Bundt pan, don't forget to butter the inside, because we don't want any of that to stick inside there either. And that looks great. Now let's go ahead and do the next portion. And this is where I love to see it come in. We're gonna simply take in our cake mix, and you can see how nice and thick it is. And we are going to use that. Sorry for my angle, guys, if you're not getting to see how wonderful that is as I'm putting it in the pan. But it's very simple. We're just gonna smooth it around there. Now, I love creating things in the kitchen, and sometimes I like to be a little bit of a mad scientist. So at the bottom of this, you can add in some maraschino cherries if you'd like. That always is fun around Christmas time to give that little pop of red. And there we go, coming together. So nice. All right, let me move that out of the way. And you can see that I'm gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna go ahead and put it into our pan. You can go ahead and take a look at that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up these little edges right before I pop it in, because I wanna make sure that it comes out and looks really nice. We're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees. We're gonna let it cook for about 40 minutes. And you may want to adjust that depending on the altitude where you're at, but this is going to be delicious, and wait until you see it on the pie pan. Look at this lovely cake. Came out of the oven, and I'm ready to jump right into it with a nice warm cup of coffee. This delicious dessert is going to really make me happy to share with my family, and I hope you share it with your family today. Please give me some comments. It's really important. I'd like to see what your family thinks. And if you have any questions, make sure that you put those in the comments as well. Let's go ahead and jump into this delicious Pecan Upside Down Cake. Kerry. Oh my goodness, look at that. Don't mean to be rude, guys, but I can't wait. I'm gonna go ahead and take a big bite right now. I'm so glad that you came into my kitchen and joined me. I had a good time sharing this wonderful recipe. See you next time at Zia Cooking. Delish.